Welcome everyone to Sports Adda Live. I have with me Salil once again for the second test. Salil, how does it feel to be back here?
Oh, it's absolutely lovely. I think we are in a more sunnier destination, so let's expect a lot of cricket over the next 5 days, and let's hope for a good result.
Let's hope for it. Because as soon as I was getting ready for the show, I got an update that the toss has been delayed. And I was like, oh my God, not again. Please let there be some cricket happening. And here we are with the toss as well, Salil. Once again, the Indian captaincy curse, playing a major role here. India lost the toss yet again. England winning the toss and choosing to bowl first. Salil, what are your thoughts? Do you think because of the fresh pitch, Joe Root has opted to bowl first here?
I think he clearly mentioned it was because of the conditions. I think the overhead conditions look like it's going to be overcast and cloudy over the next hour or so. But
Yeah.
as the day goes ahead, it's going to get better. So I think what England really want to do is capitalize on taking a few wickets up front, and that's where Joe Root thought that rather than putting his batsman in against a very good Indian side, he'd rather put the Indian batsman against his bowlers. So I think what he's done is
Yeah.
he's just played his cards tactfully with the kind of side that he has, and hence I think he would have chose to field first. But batting first was always best at Lords with average score of 312 for the first innings for any team.
And I would like to mention that in 2014, India had beaten England here at Lords. So India have had the fair share of victory at on this ground. So you think that today could be a day where the start is really important for India. And speaking of missing out, if you look at the teams, firstly, Salil, there is no Stuart Broad for England. That's a big blow. We were just talking about his absence, Salil. What are your thoughts on this playing 11? Three changes for them.
Well, excellent. It's sad that Stuart Broad is out, but he's got a level three, grade three tear in his calf, and I think he
Yeah,
might be out for 2 or 3 months. James Anderson, who pulled his squad yesterday, is quite lucky to be in the squad. And
yeah,
I think what's really happened is the changes that have happened. Moeen Ali, who has really shown what he can do in white ball cricket, is back into the England side, and I think he should say that he's back with a bang purely because he's played only one test in the last 2 years, but they have the
wow,
faith, and he's done a lot in recent days. Well, in India for TSK and for his club in for the 100, and I think one of the openers or number three was definitely going to go. Hasib Hamid, who has
yeah.
a couple of 50s against India in India, has been called up. I think he's also got one century when he played for the one of the practice matches against India. So
Yeah.
all in all, they've got a spirited side. But the sad part for the England squad is that they miss the services of a Stuart Broad, a
Yeah.
Ben Stokes, Jofra Archer, and these are really big blows. They're all match winners
Big
and can single-handedly take the match away from you. So all the best to England with whatever they've got.
names. Absolutely, Salil. And these are big names, okay, in international cricket, in white ball, red ball, whatever format be it. And you look at the Indian team here, there's one change. Surprised to see, you know, surprised to see Ishant Sharma come in place of Shardul Thakur, or was it something that you really, saw and you expected this to happen?
I honestly I expected that to happen with Shardul Thakur going out due to injury. Ishant Sharma is the one who's done very well in that last test that we won at Lords. That was in 2014, and before that we won only once in 1986. So and England have got around 10 to 12 victories. So our
Correct.
record over here is not that great. While the entire side remains the same, I still don't see a reason why you cannot squeeze in and Ravichandran Ashwin in this squad because that guy can bowl on all surfaces. But I think clearly what happened in the previous test, Kohli did mention that his template of having four bowlers and the spinner who can bat a little better might just make the side is something that he would want to stick to along with Ravi Shastri. So I'm not up for it, but if they feel that that's the best combination and that's what
Yeah.
is going to work against this England batting side, which is not the best batting side, it may work. But otherwise, a formula of such to keep Ravichandran and Ashwin out on pitches that are going to be dry and sunny is not the best idea.
Probably, and you talk about the Indian batting here, Salil, for a minute. You have to speak of KL Rahul, you have to speak of, all these big names in the Indian team. But KL Rahul, as I mentioned, what is his role today and how impactful has he been? Keeping a Mayank Agarwal out and getting his form back and sealing his place in at least this test for sure. So, Salil, what's your take on his form and, how he's been playing so far?
Well, I don't think he should be dropped for the entire series. He's got the temperament
Amazing.
of a great batsman, and he's performed at all levels at different positions of batting. It's not really easy to just go out there and play a new ball or a semi-old ball or come in a different situation. But he's done all that, and I think it's time that the Indian, management do understand that KL Rahul is the all three format player, and he can
Yeah.
also keep. So there's always a benefit that he can provide. Not getting a Rishabh Pant's place in the side, but I'm just saying that.
I was gonna say. I was
But
gonna say.
the previous match, he clearly showed his mettle. He, along with Rohit Sharma, proved that they are up for the English attack, and they have possibly their best bowlers bowling at them. They batted really well. They left the odd ones that were outside the off stump, made sure
Yeah.
that he punished all the bad balls. Even in the second innings, where he got a small 26, he gave a beautiful start to the Indian innings and making it quite optimistic for India to go into the fifth day by scoring around 50 runs odd with Rohit Sharma and Pujara. So
Exactly.
all in all, I think currently, from a form perspective, KL Rahul is the guy that England would really want to take right now, as early as possible, because the conditions are much better than Trent Bridge, and KL Rahul, he will score big.
He's brilliant, isn't he? And you have to speak of Jamie Anderson as well, because just the experience and the stature that he is. Jamie Anderson getting Virat Kohli out once again for a duck. Virat Kohli must be in a lot of pressure, a lot of backlash given to him because of that. But Jamie Anderson, the form that he's in, Salil, do you think that he could take the match away from India today? Straight up.
I think the first hour is crucial.
Yeah,
The conditions being overcast, and maybe there's a little bit of grass that can help the bowlers initially. If he's able to make that impact and get maybe a Rohit Sharma or KL Rahul, and
yeah.
then expose the out of form Indian middle order, then I think that impact will definitely be there. Obviously, this is not something new to Jamie Anderson. He's done it in the past. He's the third highest wicket taker in tests, and there's no reason why he will not come in hot against the Indian batsmen.
Absolutely. Salil, more importantly, Jimmy Anderson has a lot of pressure on his shoulders given the fact that Stuart Broad is out, like you mentioned, with a calf injury. And coming in is Mark Wood, who is not extremely experienced, one may say. He's a good bowler with a lot of skill as well, but not hasn't played a lot of test cricket. And test cricket is completely different. And playing against a team like India, we know Salil, just like you mentioned, the lethal depth that India has in their batting. It will be a big task for Jimmy Anderson to cover up for Stuart Broad. Don't you think, Salil?
Absolutely, big responsibility for Mark Wood, but at the same time, he was always in the ranks, even to play the
Yeah.
previous test. And I think missing out on Jofra Archer and Chris Vokes and Stuart Broad, I think it's a good opportunity for Mark Wood to come. I've seen him play a few games, and I think he can really crank it up above the 140 clicks an hour,
Mm.
and
Yeah, you
that can
can.
make things difficult for the Indian batsmen. That also to understand that the Lord's pitch has got a good slope, and the bowlers who bowl quick and can get movement both ways will always be lethal, even if it's a good pitch to bat on a dry day.
Yeah,
So,
true.
given that, I think Mark Wood will be keeping his fingers crossed and going in positively into this test match.
Absolutely. Salil, the slope that you mentioned about, that's a really essential factor. Not many people know about this. Only, the hardcore cricket fanatics or, people like us who are too much into cricket know about this thing. But there is a slope kind of a thing at Lords where it gives a lot of advantage to the fast bowlers and it does help in the seaming of the balls. But you have to speak of the spinners as well. They've got a Moeen Ali. And from what I know is that he's in impeccable form when it comes to the bat, Salil. Do you think this was an inclusion just to, get a lot of experience in the middle order as a batsman? Something what that India have done in the first test, getting a batsman who can bowl or like a bowler who can bat, something like that, Salil?
Yes, I think more than that, I think Lawrence was really not
Yeah,
not really in form, and Moeen Ali has got a very good record even against India. If you see that He knows the Indian team quite well. He's played in the IPL for many years, and white ball cricket. He's one smart aleck that you'll always find in a team, and he's a brilliant guy. He's a sly
Yeah,
customer.
yeah,
So I think he's one who can navigate, the batting lower down the order and maybe anchor the innings and try to score a 30 or a 40 while being there for a good 20 overs. I think he's the man for the job, and that is what he will be entrusted upon. Not so much of his bowling. I don't know how much difference does it make, because even on the Indian pitches, he doesn't really spin it so much more than his
yeah,
variation and his meticulousness of bowling the ball at the same spot, and maybe one turning slightly inside and the one going straight. But
yeah.
having said that, I don't think the bowling might make that much of a difference to the Indian batsman. But at the same time, his batting definitely will. And he's also got a lot of experience under his belt, so Joe Root always has some good advice coming his way.
Yes, that's absolutely true, Salil. Amazing point that you made was Moeen Ali has the ability to spin the ball in, also to, get the straighter one. And we know Virat Kohli and his troubles with, the ball going straight or, making that, something that happens for an off spinner. Dom Best troubled him a lot when he came to India in the India England Test series earlier on this year. So do you think Virat Kohli has a point to prove to everyone and make that statement? Because we know that that guy doesn't talk, his bat talks. So you think today is Virat Kohli's day, and you can see a big innings from him in this game for sure. Do you think, Salim?
Well, if the sun is out, I'm sure his batting will be much, much better. But Virat Kohli definitely has a point to prove. It's
Yeah,
it's being kind of noticed that his Test career has gone slightly a little weary when it comes maybe with the burden of captaincy. That's
yeah,
something that he might want to shrug off. I personally feel it has affected his game a little bit. His free-flowing spirit of playing cricket is slightly subdued because of the captaincy. But
yeah,
we leave that to the record books or whatever. But I think he might be not in the greatest of patches, but scoring at Lords, getting the three-figure and etching your name in the history books is obviously something that King Kohli would really want.
yeah.
Um, he and the other uh, middle order batsmen that we have.
The historic wall of Lords. That's what they say. Where an Ajit Agarkar has his name embarked, and there is no Virat Kohli in it. Salil, Ajit Agarkar has got 100 at Lords. So in this Indian team, you really have a lot of hopes from Virat Kohli, Salil. So one last take on the first session, Salil. What do you think? Any prediction or any projection of what the game is going to be like in the first session, according to you?
Well, I think if Rohit and KL get their act together and they keep their wicket like they did in Trent Bridge, there's no
Yeah.
reason why India would score around 80 to 90 runs in the first session and maybe lose just a wicket.
80 to 90 runs in first session. That's something amazing, remarkable. We'll wait and watch, Salil. The players and umpires will be out there shortly, and live action coming up. I cannot wait. Second test, finally some action, though it was 10-15 minutes late. But der aaye durust aaye is what we say. So thank you for joining with me, Salil. I'll see you in the lunch break, and we'll talk more about how the first session went. And just because we've
Sure.
got the same kind of color going on, we are vibing today. So I would probably say that it could be a day for Indian batsmen, isn't it, Salil?
Thanks,
Thank
yes.
you so
Yes.
much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. This was Sports Adda Live.